another drink, I don't wanna think. Oh, it's been a long day. Get out of your head, smoking on my bed, but that song on replay. Don't worry now, look what we found. We don't have to go all in. Head in the clouds, both looking down. Doesn't mean that we're falling. Oh, we can keep it simple, baby. Let's not make it complicated. Labels are so overrated. Let's not make it complicated. Rules are meant for breaking, baby. Let's not make it complicated. Why don't we just go get naked? Let's not make it complicated.
Balinosa 19, sukses, sukses, sukses!
Balinosa ini sebuah bazar yang sangat kreatif ya tentunya untuk kita semua.
Acaranya sangat meriah dan ramai karena acara Balinosa itu meningkatkan literasi para siswa-siswa di SMA Negeri 1 Bandung.
Mantap, panggungnya itu ada lampunya.
Seru, asik lah.
Bisa membuka kepedulian kita tentang membaca karena membaca itu adalah jendela dunia gitu.
Assalamualaikum
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Sekarang
teman-teman semua, sekarang waktunya pembagian hadiah dari lomba Balinosa tahun 2020.
Dimulai dari lomba menulis puisi yang akan diberikan hadiahnya oleh Bu Juju Jubaidah ya. Ibu. Dari mulai juara 3 itu ada atas nama Audrey Ramanda kelas 12 IPA 6. Atau ada perwakilan?
Ada perwakilannya dari kelas 12 IPA 6. Boleh kesini ke depan? Ini perwakilannya dari kelas 12 IPA 6. Untuk juara 2-nya
ada atas nama Pravda Mutiara dari kelas 12 IPA 5. Ya. Enggak boleh.
sesi foto dulu. 12 IPA 5. Untuk juara yang pertamanya
ada atas nama Zemima Hefti dari 10 IPS 3. Untuk perwakilan atau orangnya silahkan.
Untuk pembagian hadiahnya boleh.
Untuk undangan langsung maju ke depan aja.
Nah, ini para pemenangnya dapat hadiah dari
Hadiah dari
merchandise, sponsor juga ya.
Merchandise sponsor. Juara
Ini dia
Untuk
juara
juara
3
tiganya,
lomba puisi.
perwakilan dari 12 IPA 6. Dan juara 2 lomba puisi dari 12
IPA 5.
pada
Siti
Siti
Nurholifah
Nurholifah dari
kelas
kelas
10 IPS 1.
Dan
Juara
juara
2 diraih oleh
Kirana Jasmine dari kelas
12 IPA 7.
Dan
Juara pertama diraih
oleh
Livianda
dari
kelas 11 IPA 5.
Silahkan untuk kembali.
Selamat kepada para pemenang.
Selamat kepada para pemenang lomba menulis cerpen. Habis ini ada apa?
Habis ini ada pengumuman lomba penampilan seni
Penampilan seni
yang akan
diberikan
oleh Bu Lis.
Ibu Lis.
Juara
Silakan.
tiganya siapa nih, Ban?
Dari juara 3 kelas 11 IPA 2. Ada perwakilannya atau langsung semua? 11 IPA 2. Nah, diwakilkan.
Dan juara 2 diraih oleh
11 IPA 3. 12.
12 IPA 3.
Dan juara pertama diraih oleh
10 IPS 5.
Selamat kepada para pemenang lomba penampilan seni.
Wah, ini ada IPA 2 nih yang main bass.
Ya, selamat kepada
para
11
pemenang.
IPA 2. Juga juara kedua dari 12 IPA 3.
Dan juara
Dan
pertama
dari
oleh 10
IPS 5. Foto dulu bersama Ibu.
Nah,
Ya, selamat
selanjutnya
kepada pemenang lomba penampilan seni. Sekarang ada dari lomba news anchor dari juara ketiga juara ketiga yang hadiahnya akan diberikan oleh
Bu
Bu
Fitriani.
Fitri. Ya, Bu Fitri, enggak Bu? Buat pemberian hadiah lomba news anchor.
Lomba news anchor
Dari juara 3
diraih
ada
oleh
Naira Prameswari dari 10 IPA 1. Ada orangnya atau diwakilkan 10 IPA 1?
10 IPA 1. Oh, ada.
Oh iya.
Untuk juara 2-nya dari Prilly Alisha
dari
kelas
11
IPA 5.
Diwakilkan.
Dan untuk juara pertama
ada
Diva
Diva
dan Malinda
dari
dari kelas
12
IPA 4. Wah, selamat nih kepada para pemenang.
Selamat pada para pemenang news anchor.
Juara 3 diraih oleh 10 IPA 1.
Juara 2 diraih oleh 11
IPA 5. Dan juara pertama diraih oleh
12
IPA 4.
Ya, mohon tepuk tangannya untuk kepada para pemenang.
Selamat kepada para pemenang.
Lomba news anchor.
Selanjutnya
Sekarang ada lomba
Business Plan.
yang hadiahnya akan diberikan oleh Ibu Aam. Aam dipersilahkan untuk memberikan hadiah lomba bisnis plan.
Nah ini lomba utama nih.
Lomba utama ya. Dari kelas juara 3 diraih oleh kelas
11 IPS 1. Untuk juara kedua
diraih oleh 10 IPA 2.
Dan juara pertama
diraih oleh
12 IPA 5.
Selamat kepada para pemenang lomba bisnis plan tahun 2020.
Para pemenang mendapatkan
Hadiah yang
buku
disponsori oleh Pokari, Edubox,
Semansa 90,
Semansa 88,
Dauki,
Donat Pop,
Tentor,
Bumi Joglo,
dan penerbit Erlangga.
Selamat kepada para pemenang.
Wah,
lomba
keren
bisnis.
banget nih.
Di foto bersama dulu.
Sesi
Ya.
foto.
Dah ya. Terima kasih untuk para pemenang lomba yang sudah berpartisipasi dalam lomba di bisnis plan. Juara umum ya Bu ya?
Nah, ada juara umum nih.
Ada juara
ternyata,
umumnya juga yang
yang akan diberikan oleh Bu Aam.
Bu Aam juga Bu. Ya. Bu Aam yang akan memberikan lomba hadiah dari juara umum untuk juara umum
Balinosa tahun 2020
diraih
oleh
kelas 12 IPA 5. Juara umum Balinosa tahun 2020 diraih oleh kelas
12 IPA 5. Selamat kepada kelas 12 IPA 5 mendapatkan
12 IPA 5
piala bergilir Balinosa
tahun 2020.
Sesi foto terlebih
Sesi
dahulu.
fotonya. Berapa?
Tepuk tangan
terima
semuanya.
kasih atas partisipasi dari setiap kelas yang sudah ikut berpartisipasi dalam
Balinosa.
Balinosa tahun
2020.
Selamat juga kepada para pemenang lomba dari mulai kelas 12 sampai kelas 10. Oh iya, sama door prize. Ya, tadi karena ada kuis dari Pokari, itu ada 2 pemenang. Pemenang pertama diraih oleh atas nama Kevin Nur Arianto dari 12 IPA 4.
Dan kuis Balinosa dimenangkan oleh
Atas nama Ardelia Putri kelas 12 IPA 5.
wah, selamat nih kepada para pemenang. Untuk hadiahnya,
Ini untuk hadiahnya. Untuk pemenang kuis Balinosa. Ya,
Selamat
terima kasih
kepada para
selamat
pemenang.
kepada 12 IPA 5 untuk kelas untuk atas nama Kevin Nur Arianto kelas 12 IPA 4 nanti akan dihubungi oleh tim panitia untuk diberikan hadiah door prize-nya.
betul.
Oke, karena sesi pembagian hadiah juga sudah berakhir. Terima kasih untuk kepada kepada semua kelas yang sudah berpartisipasi dalam lomba Balinosa tahun 2020.
Makasih juga yang udah nonton YouTube Semansa. Sampai ketemu di Balinosa tahun depan
2021.
Untuk selanjutnya akan ada
video penampilan news anchor dari Juara
1, 2,
2,
dan 3
yang
Saya
akan
Naomi.
ditampilkan di YouTube Semansa.
Saya Naomi.
Saya Rabani.
Kami pamit undur diri. Sampai jumpa di Balinosa tahun 2021.
Terima kasih semua.
Let's go to China and see how they handle falling baby pandas. Novel coronavirus survives 28 days on glass, much more longer than flu virus. Frozen food package polluted by living coronavirus could cause infection. BNI profit down 64% in first 9 months as risky loans soar. Experts share tips on maintaining eye health during virtual activities. Minister Nadiem Makarim says kids feel lonely amid extended remote learning period. Remote learning cited as cause of student suicide in North Kalimantan. These news will be reported in Science 4 News in the morning. Good morning and welcome to Science 4 News with me, Malinda. Long weekend is coming around the corner and people are looking forward to travel, whereas they are appealed to stay at home. Indonesian health authorities confirmed Wednesday that the total number of COVID-19 cases has reached 400,000 8 months into the outbreak. According to Health Ministry data released on Wednesday afternoon, there were 4,029 new cases on Wednesday, bringing the overall tally to 400,483. More than 13,000 people have died of the disease, while 300,000 people have recovered. Jakarta remains the country's epicenter of the outbreak with over 100,000 cases as of Wednesday, followed by East Java with 51,000. The announcement was made as people began an extended weekend after the government declared 28th and 30th of October collective leave days for the public holiday celebrating the birthday of Prophet Muhammad Maulid on Thursday. Epidemiologists warned that the long holiday weekend would be a test for the country. National COVID-19 Task Force spokesperson Wiku Adhisasmito urged people to consider all risks when deciding to go on a holiday. He reminded the public to adhere to the government's strict health protocols on wearing masks and washing hands regularly. He also encouraged offices to take anticipatory measures by taking note of employees with plans to go on vacation in regions that have been declared medium or high-risk zone. Now let's take a look at the number of cases in Indonesia, especially in West Java. Diva, please.
Okay, thanks Melinda. According to COVID-19.go.id, outbreak trends since the beginning of March up until now. There are more than 400,000 cases is confirmed, more than 60,000 people in medication, more than 300,000 healed, and more than 30,000 deaths around Indonesia. Now, let me show you the COVID-19 distribution map in West Java, Indonesia. So here is the COVID-19 distribution map in West Java, Indonesia. According to the Java, the highest case hold in Bekasi with 2,047 cases, following by Depok with 1,602 cases, and Bogor with 1,314 cases. The least case is in Indramayu with 13 cases, Pangandaran with 14 cases, and Tasikmalaya with 25 cases. As you can see, in Bandung itself, it holds with 632 cases. That's all from me. Back to Melinda.
Thank you, Diva. With increasing cases in Indonesia, especially in West Java, please do not take risks by traveling to any of those cities. After this break, we're going to take Panda. We'll be right back.
Good afternoon everyone, come back again with me Prilly Alisa on Balinosa News. As we already know, the coronavirus outbreak that comes from Wuhan, China has spread all over the world, including our beloved country, Indonesia. No one knows this outbreak will be able to happen. Lack of government's preparation to fight this outbreak has impacted several aspects such as health, education, and economic. This following information for you. The first case of COVID-19 was announced by President on 2nd of March 2020. This data shows us just 2 months needed on Monday, 11th of May 2020, COVID-19 case increased and reached 14,265 cases. Coronavirus disease or COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. Coronavirus is one of unit virus that's discovered on animal and human. COVID-19 affects different people in different ways. Most infected people will develop mild to moderate illness and recover without hospitalization. The most common symptoms are fever, dry cough, and tiredness. On the serious symptoms, people will feel difficult to breathe or shortness of breath. COVID-19 outbreak has been stated by World Health Organization as world pandemic and has also been declared a status of a disaster emergency situation for coronavirus outbreak by the head of a national disaster management agency through Decree number 9A of 2020 and extended through Decree number 13A of 2020. Currently, vaccine is available but is still on development stage. It should be noted that education must continue in any condition. However, to reduce the spread of COVID-19, face-to-face learning must be replaced with online learning. Minister of Education and Culture Nadiem Makarim stated that due to COVID-19 pandemic, education in Indonesia is currently experiencing a crisis. According to him, learning from home is not a solution, but it is imperative way to stay away from COVID-19 transmission. Nadiem said, the option for now is to continue learning despite the many difficulties experienced by each student, or don't study at all. He added, learning from home is not ideal for the development of student education throughout Indonesia. However, he stressed the government through the Ministry of Education and Culture continues to strive to prepare various kinds of learning methods for each region. Apart from educational aspect that affected by COVID-19 is economic sphere. According to a report from the Central Statistic Agency, it was stated that Indonesia's economic growth in the second quarter of 2020 was minus 5.32%. Previously, in the first quarter of 2020, CSA reported that Indonesia's economic growth only grew by 2.97%. down considerably from the growth of 5.02% in the same period in 2019. This weakening economic performance also had an impact on the labor situation in Indonesia. Based on the data, the Ministry of Manpower as of 10 April 2020, as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, there were around 40,000 companies in the formal sector that chose to lay off their workers. A total 1 million workers were affected by COVID-19. In details, 800,000 workers from 17,000 companies were sent home, while 137,000 workers were laid off from 22,000 companies. Meanwhile, the number of companies and workers affected in informal sector was 34,000 companies and 189,000 workers. We are coming to the end of this session. Do not forget to stay healthy and happy. I am Prilly Alisa. See you on the next Balinosa News.
Back again with me, Naira Pramaswari, and today we will continue our last topic about coronavirus Indonesia. Today, 26th of October, positive cases of COVID-19 in Indonesia increased by 3,222. But today, positive cases decreased from the last 3 days. So the total number of positive cases of COVID-19 in Indonesia was 392,934. Jakarta still extends the large-scale social restriction transition until the 8th of November 2020. Although COVID-19 in Indonesia still in the high amount, but 9 from 15 cinemas in Bandung already reopened, and Malang will start offline school with a lot of preparation soon. Many activities already allowed to do, even though not yet applicable in all regions. This is sure to cause a lot of social stigma against COVID-19 in public. Now we're gonna talk about what is social stigma with Dr. Mirza. Dr. Mirza, can you hear me?
Yes, social stigma is negative condition for a person or a group for people that have their own disease, like COVID-19.
Is that dangerous?
Of course it is. It can make people hide their own health status, so they don't want to check themselves, or they don't want to be treated, or they don't want to be quarantined, so they can increase the risk of the transmission of the coronavirus in public.
And how to avoid social stigma itself?
We can use the right name of the disease, like we can call it COVID-19 that caused by SARS-CoV-2. And second, not mention COVID-19 as a patient or as a spreader, instead give them a support. Not only the patient, but also the family and health worker, and tell the struggle of the health worker for fighting the virus, and tell the good news, not the fake news or a hoax. That can be avoid social stigma.
Thank you, Dr. Mirza. We hope the situation will get better. Always stay safe, stay healthy. As we know, this virus already affecting our life like education and economy for the past 8 months. So now we're gonna talk about education during this pandemic with one of Indonesian State of College Accountancy lecturer, Mr. Jody. Mr. Jody, how's everything?
Well, I am pretty good. Thank you.
Sir, first of all, may I know how long you have been teaching from home? Is it effective or not?
Well, I've been teaching from home for almost a year, but that was since the outbreak of COVID-19. I don't know whether it is effective or not, but to know this, we have to make a research or at least to make some questions to the students themselves. But from my point of view and from informal conversation I made, many students claim that they were more enjoyable and satisfied learning in the classroom or through offline.
Okay, in many platforms, especially like social media, Twitter, Instagram, many students mention how hard they catch up with school during the school from home, and they said they got more assignments than offline school. What do you think, and what would you do if you were them? Maybe it would help students that's struggling with their schools out there.
Well, if I were a student, I would take. If I if I were a student, I would try to take advantage of studying a little deeper the subject I learned since I had more time. Even though I got more assignment, I would do all with enjoyment and relax. What's more, if I understood many platforms that existed.
What the biggest change you felt the most about this school from home?
In addition to change, we are facing there are, however, challenges to overcome. Some students without reliable internet access and or technology will struggle to participate in digital learning. About the change, if we are clever enough of playing games, we will have higher motivation toward learning, especially among students who make them truly in love with learning.
Okay, for the last question, what's your message to students out there who are still doing school from home?
My message to all students who are still engaging in learning from home, I hope the student will have received this as a way out for the time being. Furthermore, for those who have access to the right technology, we have to be certain that learning online can be more effective in a number of ways, such as in maximizing time constraint and boring situation, and in avoiding to be affected by COVID-19 and support.
Thank you, Mr. Jadi. We hope your message could transfer well to all the students out there. And stay healthy, stay safe. For all the audiences at home, we also hope you always stay safe, stay healthy. I'm Nida Pramaswari. Thank you and good night.